Okay, go ahead. Regarding the question as to at what point in time in the history of the Buddhist tradition did women's status in Buddhist India begin to change such that they became more active in the Buddhist tradition and the practice of the Buddha Dharma? The background for this is, of course, pre-Buddha India, the period of the Vedas and the Brahmins, the priestly caste. According to the Brahmin ethic, once a Brahmin male sees his first grandchild, this is more or less the case, he should retire, leave home, and go into the forest. The forest can either be in actual woods or a desert, so in other words, wilderness. And his wife may or may not accompany him. I believe she has that option. So she may go into the forest with him to focus full-time on the cultivation of spiritual principles. Then, according to the law book, when he begins to sense death is near, he will send his wife back home to rejoin the family. He will then wander about singly with only a robe, a walking stick, and a beggar's bowl, an alms bowl, to focus on dying a good death. So with this in mind, the ancient Indian tradition, of course, is thoroughly patriarchal. And much of India today, except in the cities, still tends to be very caste-oriented and very patriarchal. Initially, of course, the Buddha established the Sangha, the Buddhist monastic tradition. Initially, it was for males only, monks. There is evidence in the text that he resisted admitting females or nuns, but his first cousin and primary disciple, Ananda, prevailed on him to begin admitting women to the monastic tradition. And I'm not sure off the top of my head at that what point that was, but it was during the Buddha's lifetime. He lived to be 80 and he taught 45 years. So somewhere in that time span, he created the nunnery. The nuns were to commit themselves to many of the same rules and disciplines as the monks, but there were an additional number of rules that governed nuns, partially in order to keep them in rein, but also in order to protect them from abuse by males, both monks and monastics, and lay men. I'm not an authority. I'm not even terribly well read on women in Buddhism. I did read the subject some years ago, but there are two female authors who really committed their whole professional careers to the study of women in Buddhism. I'll give you their names, and you can no doubt find their books in the library or actually online with Barnes & Noble or Amazon. The first woman, she may be emeritus now, but she taught at Stanford. Her name is Diana Paul, and I believe her book is actually called Women in Buddhism, but in any case, I'm correct about the name. And the other is a woman named Rita Gross, who has written extensively in both book form and in journal article form about women in Buddhism. So that in brief is my answer, and I think these books, and you will find bibliographies in each of these books that will send you to other sources that will fill out your understanding of the historical and perhaps and as well as the current status of women in the Buddhist tradition. I hope this has been helpful.